This is your daily market review for Monday, June 2nd, 2025. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review. Monday, June 2nd, 2025. Hopefully you're doing amazing. Interesting day. Not surprised by the reaction of popping back up as we talked about new money, new month, stock traders almanac, seasonality. Again, the only thing we know for sure is that you have to trust your stops and discipline and manage risk. Am I bullish? Am I bearish? Again, this is the education channel. My insights on this is that learn to trade around your positions, trade your extremes in the choppy market, and don't be surprised by anything at this point because it's almost like bad headline, good headline, good headline, bad headline. Trade talk this, trade talk that. Even with dysfunctional governments in the past, different whoever was in charge. My point being is the market still rose. So again, we don't always know the why. So don't get fixated on which administration's doing what. At this point, the Feds are doing what they always do. They're trying to print money to protect bonds, the dollar. The rest of the world's doing it. ECB, everybody's doing it, cutting rates. We'll see what ultimately happens. Because again, if runaway inflation comes too, would people want to buy bonds in the dollar or currencies, or would they buy stocks? Again, that's what we've seen before. If a country implodes, is that their stock markets actually rise because the value of the currency diminishes so significantly that the only place to hide is like companies, because the companies ultimately will be able to pass on their price increases and collect money as inflation rises. And again, it's you can get deep in the weeds on this, but I'm at this point where, hey, just do what you think is best, define your risk, trade the extremes, and don't be surprised by a choppy market, especially in my opinion going into the summer. All right, you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, links description below. Let me know how I can help if you'd like to chat. Click on the Calendly link. Let's do it. 30 minutes. Let's connect. Also, too, if you have questions, want to follow on Twitter, posting ideas, thoughts, and also please follow, like, subscribe on YouTube. I appreciate all the love, support, generous donations. If you don't want to hit the thanks button, cool. If you also want to get involved or you want to show appreciation, hit the like button, leave a comment below. I love reaching out and connecting with people who are actually watching the videos, because there's also 52 education trading videos. We've spent a lot of time putting this together, and I'm always amazed sometimes. Like, people are like, "Oh, I need more help," and it's like, man, check out these videos. There might be your topic might be in hand somewhere on here, and if not, I don't mind creating new videos for this stuff. Again, I love doing this, and again, in all honesty, again, website turn profits into properties and passive income. That's what we're doing here. Again, it's an education channel. Ultimately, you have to decide what's best for you. Talk to a financial advisor if you're unsure before you act on anything. And again, the mindset is the part that my favorite part of this. Trading, again, trade like a computer. When you release expectation, and this is what's the hardest part, is you can tell, like, the ego runs wild, hence why people always want to know, always want to trade, always has to happen now. It's always looking for certainty. Well, you're looking for certainty in a probability-based game. At some point, you're going to get FUCKED, screwed over. So, fear and greed index at 63 again. Are we at extreme greed? No. So again, I've seen the stuff hang out between these levels for a while, so don't get too carried away. We know there's no rate cut coming up. Bitcoin, I trust Bitcoin 0, but again, that's just me, and it's not that I'm a hater. It's just this thing has made a bigger move than the tulip run if you look at it comparatively, when from start to bottom, or start to top. And again, I don't know if this is the future. Again, I don't like to buy the hype, and I see the hype getting crazier and crazier. Bitcoin going to 300,000, going to 1 million. Michael Saylor did it. It's almost like you see these reoccurring patterns, and at some point, nothing goes up forever always, unless it is what? Been the currency of the world for the last 5,000 years, which is gold. Can that be changing? Digital gold? We'll see. Again, I personally don't have a position. I don't like buying the hype. Again, I've been bearish on gold and silver. That's the thing. I'm not a perma bull or perma bear, right? At this point, Bitcoin is a reoccurring pattern. It gets into choppy ranges. We'll see. If it gets over, then you can be more bullish. If not, this could play a game. And I don't want to be involved in games, right? Like if I'm bullish something and it's supposed to break out, get the hell away from the old highs. I don't like it consolidating here past a certain point. High and tight for a couple days, couple weeks, not too big a deal. But if we don't just play the game and chop up against it, I might be concerned that we can come right back down. Oils we talked about, I don't see how the geopolitical risk, refilling SPR, the desire for energy independence. I mean, I don't see how, again, they can produce more oil to a certain extent, but again, it is the second most abundant liquid on the planet. I just, again, at this point, I don't, unless things absolutely crap out, right? And there's no demand and war is ended and everything. I feel like there's a kind of a premium that's built in that'll hold it in the high 50s, low 60s. Natural gas, again, I like natural gas for the long term. Not too much to send, just waiting for bigger pullbacks. Dollar, as we talked about, has been absolutely smashed. All right, is this a consolidation phase to go higher, or is this about to take out the lows and go lower? Again, I don't really trade the dollar, but I watch it for volatility, TLT. And we talked about bonds being a beast. And when I say beast, like, man, I don't know. Right? We took out the lows, 2025. I mean, are we going to hold the lows from October 2023? I mean, as at this point, I mean, like, zoom out. This is a big fucking trading range. Excuse my language. Excuse my French. Oui, oui. Big trading range. I wouldn't be surprised by a 5% yield, but have we not seen markets go up with yields over 5%? How old are some of the folks trading? It's almost like the people from the past got blown out, and there's no one old enough to remember that the market still rose with higher interest rates. Right? Remember, it's basically a shell game. It's always, as long as more money keeps going into the system, the market goes up. We'll see what happens, especially if liquidity from Feds and other players. VIX, as we talked about, watching what happens down here. Again, holding the 17 level is key for volatility. The VIX, as we talked about, typically bottoms first, but I wouldn't be surprised by a higher bottom. Again, be careful out there. SPY seems to be holding up, chopping, high and tight isn't bearish. Talked about this a couple, when I went on vacation. Don't be surprised by some chop. And again, that's why you trade the extremes. If you want to short the highs. If you want to buy the lows. I drove this box. I mean, it's really simple. You break below it, goodbye. You get over it, going higher. Could we go to new highs? Nothing would surprise me at this point. I don't know. Remember, the United States is considered underinvested when you compare what's going on with Europe and how money has been piling into European equities and some of the other countries. So we'll see what happens. QQQ, again, I don't trust tech for the long term. Not because I don't think it's going away. I think these stocks priced in the ultimate move, and then just like in the dot-com bubble, or like any other cycle where rotation happens. And again, tech, we'll see what happens here. Holding up pretty darn well. IWM, again, I like small caps. Relative basis, they're the cheapest sector. And it makes sense. If money's piling back in the United States, what's the best way to get a United States exposure? Big tech or small cap stocks, if you're going to reintroduce manufacturing and all sorts of fun stuff. Again, I like IWM. If you go zoom out, I talked about this thing has been going nowhere for IWM is in a 5-year consolidation pattern. I like the upside. Keep it simple, stupid. Again, I like commodities. I like small caps. Saying that ultimately for a long time. Industrials, small caps, materials. United States centric, basic. Again, we'll see if it wins in time, but I don't expect it to be a one-way trade. I just don't sit there and go, oh, let's go up every day. No. The got crushed with United Health. I don't know, kind of underperforming. Not going to overthink it. Who cares? It's the DIA. It's 30 stocks. Gold. Again, I've said second quarter is going to be consolidation at worst, down. We've consolidated. You're welcome. We talk about Q2 is always seasonally weak or consolidative for gold. Same thing. Silver seems to want to break out. Would it make sense this time? We'll see. I mean, the seasonality isn't usually the case. I mean, I'd like this stuff more in, say, like a July. Let's see. Again, here you go. Here was Q2, and then May, and then June, and then just chopped around. I mean, this is a recurring pattern. Again, does it always happen in a probability-based game? No, there's no certainty. But we'll see here. Maybe it goes up, and then it comes back down. Again, I personally wouldn't touch this stuff. Again, I like miners long term. We talked about it. But I'd be waiting. That's a really nice gap. But we'll see. Is it an exhaustive gap? or is it the start of an up move? Your question, I mean, again, if this wasn't Q2, I'd be like, freaking run it. But I've seen this before. I've got the rug pulled on me before so many times in miners. So we'll see. I mean, here you go. Here was a May new high, and then just consolidated Q2. We'll see what happens here. Again, trade it. Again, I can't sit here and tell you and promise anything for sure. We're just trying to give you the best insights we can. GDX, again, I like junior miners leading up. Keep an eye on it. Again, I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, you like Nugget? Yeah, I tried to get it down. I think it was like down here. Remember in the mid low 60s? Okay, ripped right back up. Sometimes you miss the trades. Again, disclaimer, no one's perfect. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. Again, all I try to do is minimize mistakes. That's all I'm trying to do. Just keep it simple, stupid. AEM's been holding up pretty well. Again, to me, that's my favorite. AG. Is this finally waking up? Got some decent volume. This has been a long-term consolidation pattern. Newmont, again, we talked about when it rejected 58. Worth watching. Filled that gap to the left. You can see it. And PAAS, again, they're buying Mag Silver. Been kind of underperforming, but hey, let's see if it bounces right back. All right, let's get into tech. Taiwan Semi, again, chopping around. Is this a head and shoulders pattern? We'll see. Again, these things have had monster moves, y'all. Keep an eye on it. Just consolidating at this point. Micron, another one that we talked about. Just these things have been toast. Some of them have been toast for a while. Chopping around. AM Dizzle, right? I expected this one to get a decent little bounce off the lows. Because again, we talked about how oversold these names were. And people were like, oh, man, you've been bearish for a while. But if you're bullish, it's going to bounce. I'm like, you have to be bullish for it to bounce. I'm like, no. I've seen this repeat current pattern. Like nothing goes down a straight line. Again, AMD, I feel like it has better value long term than say like NVIDIA, but we'll see. I could be wrong on this one. NVIDIA, again, my man Eric talking about the holding and shoulders top, like a very complex pattern. Again, I talked about this at the beginning of the year. Like I thought this was the short of 2025. You trade around it, and now it's back up. Not to say this company's going out of business, but again, it's like when Cisco dominated the routers, no one thought anyone could ever take their mantle or take away their dominance. It's like someone's always going to try to build a better widget. Again, especially in an industry where it's just highly competitive. SMCI, again, I don't freaking we'll see. Intel chopping around again. I think there's a trading range here, 18 to 24. We'll see again. I don't think the buyout target is very valuable. I'm saying like, what's that price? I don't know, 20s. AVGO going into earnings back at the highs. They did announce a big buyback last earnings, so we'll see again. Can it break out? Keep an eye on it. SMH again. I'm just not long-term bullish on this stuff. It can consolidate for a while. And personally, they've had some monster runs, so you do what you got to do. Adobe dropped today, bounced back all over the place. Again, I wouldn't say I'm like bearish on this. I've been bullish off the lows, but near term, I mean, consolidation would make sense. So let's wrap into it. Apple seems to be, again, would it be okay to consolidate for the summer? Saw it in July. Man, I mean, just shit. Yeah, in October. I mean, anything's possible here. I mean, you get these big up moves. People expect it has to go down huge or up huge. What if it just plays consolidation? Here's your range lows. And it's just a summer of chop. Range lows, range highs. We'll see. Again, I mean, there's obviously tariff implications that are playing out. Again, I don't think Apple has the growth to justify expansion on multiple. So what's the company's value at this point? It's the dividend and the buyback. Amazon seems to be holding up here. Just keep an eye on this 100-day, 200-day. Again, I'm just not a big fan of tech. I mean, some tech better than other, obviously. Meta, nice bounce today. Do we retest the highs? That's a good question. CRM, this one has just been, since it topped, it's kind of been just a big choppy mess. It doesn't really look that good. Google, I know a lot of congressmen are buying it. They're loading up on it. Again, they supposedly had the next level chip coming too. I mean, just looks like a big consolidation pattern. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we got back to the 190s if the markets hold up. Microsoft has been doing really well, holding up near the highs. Bullish where it's bullish. NDAQ, again, I like the short of this index. I think in time, I like the risk reward up here. If I'm going to take a short, that one to me seems like a solid one with a tight stop. I mean, you have a great reference area. MicroStrategy, again, chopping around with Bitcoin. Your guess is good as mine at this point. Netflix, again, I like the short on this to blow off top, but it's making new highs. So do I want to pick the top? I've tried. And again, just like picking bottoms, it's never easy. I think you just have to be patient. I would probably wait until Wednesday. At worst, new money, new month, window dressing, all that fun. Roblox, I mean, damn, boys. We talked about this one in the 20s. Did not ride it. Watch the 200-day. Missed this one completely. I mean, if you go watch the futures, like I talked about, like liking this for the long term, coming off the lows, but shiitake mushrooms, complete whiff. Watching, going, crowd, strike. Again, we like cybersecurity names. Seems to be holding up pretty well. Pan W all over the place. Yeah, keeping on it. I mean, I think this eventually goes. Tesla pulled back today on some of the news about manufacturing all in the United States. Again, I would just watch this box here. I mean, you got to like the doji here if you're a bull. But a doji could be a doji sandwich with this gap down. So keep an eye on it. And again, I'm not saying that it can't go higher or lower. What I'm saying is when you get a nice move, it leads to consolidation, even if it's just a little bit, right? Keep an eye on it. Worth a watch, right? Keep an eye on it. Some of these tech stocks. Palantir seems to be getting endless government contracts. I mean, I don't know if I can really step in front of that short. Insight, again, I talked about this being a buy in the mid-50s. I still love it. Keep an eye on it. HIMS. A lot of people are saying this is a big cup and handle. I personally think this company has no moat around it. Anyone can copy it. Amazon tomorrow could flip a switch and say, we're going to go after what they're doing. We'll see. Supposing management's great. I don't know. Again, I think you have to use the references to trade around your positions. I don't see this thing going anywhere. But that's, again, I'll be wrong, and someone will go, "Oh, you're an idiot," and I'm like, "You'll be wrong one out." Again, my batting average is about 8 out of 10 right. The two that I'm wrong, I hear the most about, and that's kind of par for the course on that one. Baba, again, chopping around, watching these 114s. Again, I like this area. I mean, I have my mind. I have Baba 110 would be a buy in my opinion. McDonald's, chopping around. God, yeah, that's a brutal one. Starbucks, again, we talked about the oversold conditions, chopping around. Airbnb, nice pop, and now consolidating. Again, there's just flipping through to see if there's anything we're missing here or looking at anything interesting. Coin, I don't know, man. This one's been all over the place. DKNG, ESPN. I mean, who's not going to create a sports book at this point? The competition is fierce. I don't believe in these companies, especially if we have like a mini, just, I don't say like recession, but just weakness for the summer. No one's, I mean, again, there's not good gambling in the summer either. Costco, unbelievably strong. Can't deny that. Filled the gap, building on it. Man, nice. I mean, maybe all their sales are come from selling gold. LOL. Yeah, keep an eye on it. FedEx, again, I like this. If the market bases and continues to hold, this makes sense. This 2 something area is a good trade. XLF, again, if the market's, if financials are holding up, it's really hard to see the market explode. Hood has been holding up really well. Takes out the highs. I mean, how can you be really bearish? Financials holding up pretty well. JP Morgan, another one holding up again. They're not buying back their stock, but it's holding up really well. Morgan Stanley holding the 20-day. Bank of America, again, consolidating, holding the 20-day. Goldman Sachs holding the 20-day, right? Carry, nice long wick today, making higher lows. Again, it's tough to get super bearish if this stuff holds up. We'll see. Again, I'm kind of mixed, right? I'm like certain things bearish, something not. XBI, we've talked about this one thing, absolutely demolished, probably due to bounce. Even the Jets bounced, and the Jets are a terrible football team. But again, holding up. And look at housing index. Again, the market, again, the headlines are bad for housing. But we're not making new lows. So again, I'm just curious to watch this stuff. Keep an eye on it. Good old solar. I got stopped out of First Solar, but part of the game. TAN, again, I think if oil bounces, I mean, I think these names have oomph into them. Sedge, again, I don't trust Sedge or ENPH as much. But again, these names are due to bounce potentially, especially if they hold off the lows. First Solar, again, I like this one, but it stopped me out at 153. I was using the Friday's range lows, like 154, 153. Just, I mean, you can see this right in here. Said okay. And then for 100-day, it's like sneaky fucker. Keep an eye on it. HYG, again, corporate debt holding up. Difficult to expect the market to dump if corporate debt's holding up. Oil, nice bounce again. I mean, geopolitical risk, it seems to have like a put under. It just can't get any lower than certain prices. UNG, again, I hate this product. Talked about KOLD, if you could short it on any massive pop. We've been calling them out pretty regularly. We'll see. Again, near term, it kind of in a floating point. XOP, we talked about taking profits, hitting the channel highs. Hey, high and tight's okay. Keep an eye on it, right? Like if you bought the Gush in the 14, 15 range, sold some, now you're buying back or selling some puts on it, I think it's a strong play. MPC, again, gasoline name, seemed to fall in top first and bottom first. Chopping around, keep an eye on it. Valero, same thing, more Eurocentric. ExxonMobil, this is interesting because it pulled back. If you like it, the 102 area makes sense. BP, again, this one's been chopping around. You have to put if you get the best prices on it, then you have to be patient, right? If you got it, the backside of the trend line, freaking love it. Now you have a consolidation. I think it's okay long term. Again, it's just how long do you want to wait? Again, I like Occidental. I think Buffett's buying the crap out of this stuff. I think ultimately you have to be cognizant that you just don't want to chase. Devon, again, we like the oil name, same kind of thing. Talked about waiting them to consolidate. Again, was hoping this morning we might have a consolidation. Oil is down. Lyondell base. Again, I've got some ideas on these. Just had an ex-div today. Man, that looks really, really interesting. CVE, again, I like CVE. I'd like to see it in the upper 12s. Maybe I don't get to see that. EQT, again, we talked about these names, like natural gas names, just leading up. Again, I think we'll be natural gas exporters. A lot of people kind of argue that, and I'm just like, all right, we'll see what happens here. Last but not least, Flex LNG. Again, I traded this one. I bought the channel lows, sold around the 200-day channel highs. I didn't buy back in. Again, I'm kind of just in this. I was on vacation for 10 days. I'm not really in this super grand scheme. Oh, I forgot the commodity names. Screw that. We're going right into this. I was like, why? Wait, hold on. I got some trades in those. Why am I not talking about those? Dow. Again, if you like this down here, it makes sense. I got popped out after the pop. Gave it up. Not gave it up, but just the stock gave it up. And so I haven't gotten back into that one. CE. Again, I apologize. I'm out of order. Watching this one again, the 100-day. It looks like it's building. Caterpillar. Again, we like commodity names long term. Seems to be holding up pretty well. Deere has been on fire. Right? Pulling back to the 20-day. Keep an eye on it. Nucor, again, steel tariffs. Booyah. Nice pop today, but we'll see what happens. Again, I mean, I've talked about like the risk reward on these names is in your favor with stops. X, we know it's getting bought out at 55. Keep an eye on it. IIN broke the channel. Consolidating. Perfect. Worth a watch. VALE. And we talked about these names, right? Watching the lows. Consolidating. See what happens. This one has to get over the 200-day. Arrow, again, I like copper a lot. I like this name, this junior copper naming. This thing was back in the 20s not too long ago. It got popped down to 9. I think this is trading at a 7 PE, if I remember correctly. Coming off the lows, high volume off the lows. Again, if we can get over the mid-14s, I don't know why you wouldn't get, again, in my opinion, back into the 17, 18 range. FEQLF, again, this has been a big consolidation pattern. Get over the 15s, sky high, SCO, again, CCO, again, we like the copper names. Just keep an eye on it. FCX, same kind of thing. URNJ, talked about not chasing this and waiting for the back test of this trend line. I would be waiting with hands open. Like I like the 16s on this. CCJ, again, this one's been on fire. Pulling back, consolidating makes sense. CF, again, we talked about the ag names. If you bought them at the lows, looking good. People got to eat. Confirming. Mosaic, again, Joe T, if you're listening, dude, you nailed this one at the channel lows. Continues the whole. Look at that building. Again, SQM, I talked about this one blowing off to the end of the month, start of the new month. Man, money flow, pretty blown out. Again, I'm not going to call the bottom here, but I like the risk reward on this one again. I mean, this one got puked out. And again, this is what happens sometimes. NTR, right? Keep an eye on this one. Right? Keep an eye on this one. This one's been holding up pretty well. Nothing wrong with these ag names, y'all. AA, bought AA aggressively today. Bought some yesterday. Started a position against starter. Always, again, I'm the type that layers into trades. Then look at the huge volume today. Takes out the gap. Man, we were buying it in the low 26s all day. I've got, I think, 6,000 shares. So I'm not scared. Pretty aggressive. I mean, you could buy more, but I guess you could play options. But I don't know. Stock-wise, feel pretty good about it. Actually, no, I have 7,500. Like it a lot. Kalu, again. Oh, people are like, where's it going to go? I drew this box. I wouldn't be surprised if you break the trend line and back test the old trend line and the 200-day come together somewhere in the low 30s. Hope that helps. Kalu, again, another Kaiser aluminum, holding up pretty well. MP, this is interesting because of the China rare earth metal stuff. I'd be watching that 19 level. REMX is a good, it's a rare earth metal small cap, or right, yeah, metals, rare, whatever. I'd be watching this because, again, I think you've got some levels in play here. That's what I'd be watching. Keep an eye on it. Last but not least, I guess Cliff today, right? Look at that. Nice gap up. I mean, we talked about these things getting destroyed at the end of the month and the gap up on tariff stuff. Look at the candle like changing as I look at it. It's like, oh, no doji, just kidding. Yeah, on volume. I mean, you want to talk about a bottom? Look at your bottom. Again, keep an eye on that stuff. And again, I'd like to end it on my Flex LNG just for fun because, again, it helps with my logos, put stuff in. So, again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Go look at the Stock Traders Almanac. Bullish to start the month. Wednesday, consolidation day. Maybe, again, the taco trade. Again, if you're paying attention, Wednesday is when the deadline for some of these tariffs. We'll see what happens here. Again, I personally just trade the extremes. It's easier to be bullish commodities. In my opinion, be careful with certain tech. Certain tech will hold up. Certain tech is lagging. In my opinion, if a trade isn't working, just get out and start over again. It's like First Solar. It's like, could I have held? Probably. But if it's not working, just move on. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Talk to you later.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.